Welcome back, everybody, to the SU Gang podcast. Today is March 7th, and there's been a lot of news going around the NFL this past week. All the franchise tags and all the draft buzz, and it's an interesting time to be a football fan, unless you're a Giants fan like me, because we're going to go 3-14 next year. But you know what? It is what it is. They didn't franchise tag McKinney or extend him. They better extend him, or it's going to be another terrible top 5 draft pick. But we're actually going to take J.J. McCarthy, which is going to be a reach. But it is what it is.
Yeah, they surprisingly didn't go after a very elite safety they had. I mean, obviously free agency starts next week, so we have some hope. But yeah, we had the franchise tag deadline this past Tuesday, 2 days ago, and there's been a lot of last minute tags, a couple extensions we'll go over. Also, Bobby's, I think this is one of your favorite players from the way you talked about him. I don't know if he's your favorite, but probably up there. Saquon Barkley, he also is expected
Oh,
to
yeah.
walk.
Yeah. There were reports that he and the Eagles have mutual interest, and I love Saquon Barkley. I met him, really nice guy.
Send me that photo. I'm
But
gonna put it in the video. I'm gonna put it in the video.
bro, I was so big back then, but it's I met him at a movie theater, the movie theaters, probably about not even like 10 minutes away, right behind me in line. I think this was like week 9 of 2021.
Oh, that's
And
nuts. You just saw him in public. That's crazy.
yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
did he get like I know this is off topic. I feel like especially in places like New York, big sports city, he'd get recognized a lot. So did he have any like
No,
security or
that's the
shit?
funniest thing.
Like, I know
That's
it
the
makes you
funny.
more obvious, but I feel like the fans, like I get if you're a more like not insanely popular guy, you can still get around. Like Eric Armstead, for example. He's a guy I've seen, like he goes and tries foods and like shows us his cheat meals. But like, I don't know, like I mean, obviously they wear clothing to blend in a bit, and some guys look different, but I'm
Yeah, no, he
surprised
was
like
like
he
wearing a
didn't get
hood.
mobbed. Oh yeah, that makes sense. He probably just didn't want to get all the attention.
Yeah. But it was nice. He sat like 2 rows behind us, which was pretty cool. But I don't know what I would do if he went to the Eagles, because I mean, that's obviously the team I hate the most. It'd be unfortunate. I don't know how I would view him, but
Would you rather have McKinney or Barkley back? Because obviously there's talks about the running back position being bad, but I think we all both know Saquon's a very valuable dual threat.
no,
But
I love Saquon, but if you're going, like, my heart says I want to bring both of them back. I do want to bring both of them back, but realistically, it would be much better to bring back McKinney. He's 3 years younger. He's only 24 years old. He's going to be 25 going into next year. You can get him, extend him 5-6 years, and maybe at the end of that contract, you just give him another 2-year deal. I think McKinney makes more sense. 100% of the defensive snaps last year, and he's a real leader on this team. So it makes total sense to bring him back. But, this team has they did it with Landon Collins in 2019. It was good that they didn't bring back Landon Collins, because I love Landon Collins, one of my favorite players, but he was not the same after 2017.
yeah, I
So,
mean, you never know. But yeah, I agree. And also, like, maybe you don't agree with this, but depending on what the Giants do in the draft can obviously tell a lot of how they're going to do this season. You actually
oh, I
sent this to me
totally agree.
today. You talked about the Patriots potentially not being the biggest fans of Drake May. So in a hypothetical situation, the commies take Daniels. There's a higher chance they'd be willing to trade down, get an elite receiver, maybe get a free agent QB. They obviously have Jacoby Brissett, but if they potentially make a play at someone like Russell Wilson, they'd just be willing to get a receiver. And Giants
And
trade
I
up
think
with a really big
I
offer. I feel like in a situation like that, there where you get a quarterback and potentially also another very good receiver, that you could argue that's more valuable than Barkley, especially for the long term future. I think it
oh,
is. But like
I agree. Joe
I
Shane
mean,
wants to
again,
draft his quarterback, allegedly. He wants to get his
yeah,
guy.
but like the thing also is like trading up to those top three, it's a dream for a lot of teams, but obviously only 3 teams can get them. And this is such a good class this year. Like the next year's QB class is not good. This is a great wide receiver and defensive line class too / LB. Like
And
some
corner
good
class
safeties.
too.
Yeah, and corner.
Really
Like
deep
like
corner
like like
class.
this class in general, all around, could be really amazing. So like I don't know. Even if you guys don't get a quarterback, worst case scenario, you can still get Malik Neighbors or somebody. But
No, yeah.
obviously,
If it's
the question
this
is
is
who's going to
this
be
is
throwing
what
him the
I
ball.
yeah, that's the problem because I don't think look, I think the worst case scenario, it's not that I hate JJ McCarthy. I don't. I just think taking him at 6 would be a really bad like it would put him in a really shitty situation. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He can make some really nice tight window throws, but I just think like behind our shit offensive line, you're not going to be able to like he's going to need a year to develop, maybe even 2.
Oh yeah, you're speaking
But
facts. I mean, I think he'll be a reach anyway. But if you guys really like, you see the top 3 guys taken off the board, you can't really trade up. I think. Do you think trading down? I feel like trading down would be solid because I feel like he's going to be a reach regardless. I feel like Denver is going to take him at pick
I
12.
did this mock draft today where I traded down from 6 to 9 with the Bears, got an extra third round pick, and took McCarthy at 9. But
I mean, I
you
feel
know,
like in general, in the top 15 is a reach for him, but his combine did help him. And I think just because of how deep this QB class is, like, and how many people want him, I think at the end of the day, someone's going to take him in the top 15. So, yeah, I think trading down could be a good idea. You didn't get obviously one of the top like receivers, but you got your quarterback of the future. Um,
hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, also another thing, I'm not entirely what is it, opposed. I mean, I'll get into Seattle later, but I'm also not entirely opposed if we take McCarthy. It's growing on me a bit. I personally would maybe want to trade back a bit, but I feel like at pick 16 he's going to be gone. I kind of already addressed my wishes there. But yeah, so do you think the Giants should move on from Daniel Jones? Obviously, that's a big question that I literally saw on a talk show like not even an hour ago.
Yeah, I think it's not. I will always root for Daniel Jones. He has never said any. He's never talked about the poor offensive line, the lack of receivers. But it's just time. I think like I don't get like there have been moments where I'm like, wow, Daniel Jones is pretty decent, and then there are just moments where I'm like, what is he doing? And I just think it's gotten to a point where a quarterback is not breaking out in year 6. I think that they need to. You can't cut him, but I think I saw after June 1st of 2025 they cut him. It's like 19 million. You free up 19 million, which would be incredible. Um, but I just think it's time. I wanted to tag him last year. I didn't want to give him an extension, and if it was an extension, it would have been like a 2 year, maybe 3 at most. Um, but I think that I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough because they were like week 11. They were at like number 3 or 2, and now they're maybe I think they were at 2 going into week 11, and now they're at 6. And you don't really have that much like damn, if the Chargers won that game versus what do you call it? What do you call them? The Chiefs, we would be picking 5. So it's, I don't know. A lot of if, ands, or buts, but so
Yeah.
that happens. This is what they do every year. They'll start off 2-7, 3-8. They'll win they'll get to 5-8. They'll lose like their next 3 games, and then they'll win like the last game of the year. And it'll instill false hope in the fan base. But I'm not buying any false hope.
Yeah. it definitely is tough. It's definitely an interesting situation the Giants got yourselves in. It's just unfortunate that a lot of teams want QB. Otherwise, I feel like everyone would be saying, "Oh, it's a slam dunk, Giants trade up." Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, okay. I guess I'll get into Seattle news. As a Seattle Buffalo fan, I watched a lot of guys go. I'll get into Seattle first because that's the happier news. We went from -6 in cap to 41 million in cap after all these moves, and I may be missing a few, but the notable ones are we cut Jamal Adams finally. Finally,
Let's
that
go.
was one of our worst trades. We also cut Will Dissly. He's been a guy kind of as a second string tight end for a while. Just want to say, I wish you luck wherever you go, Will. It just had to be done. And then we also released Quandre Diggs, which, listen, he didn't have the best year this year, but I still miss the hell out of that guy. I'm rooting for wherever he goes next. It's just, I'm sad to see him go, but it was in the talks. I wanted to keep him, but it needed to happen. So yeah, those three moves. We also cut Brian Monet, so those moves save us over 24 million in cap. And overall, this is great for Seattle. I'm hoping we now can make a move at Patrick Queen, and we also obviously need to get safety. That's our biggest hole on defense, but hopefully we can get that. Geno Stone could be good. I'll get into Buffalo in a second, but
I think
potentially,
Geno Stone's gonna go to the Seahawks.
yeah, Geno Stone, that was one of his top.
It makes
Also,
the most sense. You play under your old.
yeah, also,
It just makes the most like logical sense to me, at
yeah,
least, or
I
just go
would
back
be
to
down for him
Baltimore.
because you also have Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, and Jordan Poyer at strong safety would be very cool, but obviously guys like him are expensive. McKinney would also be crazy if we somehow get him, but he's
And he's
also
also
more
like what,
expensive.
32?
Yeah, so um yeah, no, Hyde and Poyer are both old.
Um,
I think Poyer still's got more years left in him. I actually thought there was a scenario where Hyde would have retired. Potentially, I figured that this duo would not be coming back to Buffalo after next year at minimum or maximum.
really?
Um, but yeah, we need a safety. But overall, I like the moves. I hopefully we can get Patrick Queen. We also are in talks to extend Leonard Williams. So I'm really hoping. John Schneider said on a podcast today that he is trying to get that done before he hits free agency. Obviously, the Giants would have won that trade if we don't bring him back, and now we actually have the resources to do so. So I'm hoping we can
It
make
would
some
be a
big.
win-win trade for both.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping we can get some defensive splashes in free agency. So overall, I'm gonna miss those guys, but need to be done. Overall, I just feel like the cuts we have made so far is something that we have never. I feel like Pete Carroll never would have done this. I'm not trying to shit on Pete, but like I really like how aggressive John is being since the Russ trade and the post Pete Carroll era. Like they're handling themselves pretty well. So good job to them. But also kind of get into safeties. Bills released. They first started with Naeem Hines and then Saron Neal, but then we got rid of Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. Well, Micah Hyde actually walked; he's a free agent. But we also released Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White.
Ron. Ron, where are you?
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
We had a good thing, you stupid son of a bitch. It was perfect. But no, you just had to blow it up. You and your pride and your ego. You just had to be the man. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine. Right?
Mitch Morse. And then, did I say Naeem Hines already? I forgot. But,
Yeah.
oh no, Deontay Hardy.
What about
Sorry, that was the
Deontay
sixth guy.
Hardy? Yeah, Hardy.
Yeah, I mean, he was good in that one Miami play, but I was expecting it to happen. I was expecting him to not come back. Gabe Davis is probably not coming back, but overall, it's really sad to see those guys go. But like Tre'Davious White's injured, Jordan Poyer, he's the guy I probably want it back the most. He's still a good safety, but Micah Hyde, I figured he'd retire or also walk. He's getting old. So it's overall just the scenario of being older, injury prone, and not getting any cheaper. So I get why Buffalo did it, but they have a lot of holes to fill, especially on safety. So I'm hoping we can get a guy like Jeremy Chin. Maybe Geno Stone goes to Buffalo, but I feel like he'd rather go to Seattle. And
Yeah, it's just hard
we'll
to work
see.
around the cap
Yeah,
space right now.
I
How
don't know
much
how the
money?
Saints do this every year because the funniest part
No,
is Buffalo
it's
is
like
still over the cap. They're still we fucking like Brandon Bean order 66th in this motherfucker, and he's still like we had to get rid of so much of our defense, and we're still over. But it should help in the future saving cap. Also, one happy W of the day is arguably one of the worst contracts now in NFL history, Von Miller. Um, we restructured his
pay cut.
deal. Yeah, he
I
took a
thought it
big
was a
pay
pay
cut.
cut.
Yeah, it was. It was basically so his salary used to be 7 million a year. Now it's 8 million, but his incentives can earn him up to 20 million. So overall, I don't think he's going to play up to those incentives fully, but it was a good deal that helped us save at least like 5 to 8 million in cap. So we restructured him and Rasul Douglas. Rasul Douglas also freed up a couple mils. So pros and cons. I am really sad that they are gone for the Bills, but it would be really fucking funny if the Bills and Seahawks swapped DBs because both the teams, funny enough, need safety now. So we'll see. But I feel like the Bills are going to get Jeremy Chin or like someone like that. So we'll see. But it's tough.
Oh,
If we get Cameron Kitchens in the second round, that would go crazy. I really want us to now get him, but I don't know if he'll be available.
I really hope that the Giants sign in free agency another edge rusher. I
Oh
like Aziz
yeah.
Ojolari, but like he's hurt all the time. You have to sign a guard. Holy crap, that guard position has been a revolving door. I don't know. What do you do? But it's been so bad for the last probably 11 since like David Deal and Chris Snee retired, which I was a little kid. Now I'm 18. But we need to find a steady guard. We cut Glowinski. He wasn't that great, especially in 2022, but it saved us almost 6 million, 5.7 million in cap. Darren Waller's coming to his decision whether he's going to retire or play. And I mean, selfishly, there's a part where obviously I want him to play, but then there's like another part of me that's like, he's getting older and he's coming off these bad hamstring injuries. Maybe it's time to just hang it up. It also gives us more money to spend, but then it also makes a possibility of drafting Brock Bowers because you would need a tight end. But
I feel
you
like
never
he'll
know,
go to the
honestly.
Chargers if they don't take Joe Alt, but
No.
who
I think so
knows?
too. I think so
Yeah.
too.
Again, one guy I want for Buffalo. I mean, I've already mentioned this, but Keon Coleman, Troy Franklin, or whoever of the UT Austin receivers are there. But I like Keon Coleman because even though people are crapping on him for being slow, I don't think the combine is everything. I mean, look at Orlando Brown. He got dead last in most metrics and fell to the third round, but he had a great career. He had the slowest 40, I think, yard time ever. But
Yeah, I think
when
no, I
it
think it was second slowest.
okay, well, it was like 6 seconds,
Close
maybe
enough.
six
But
flat. Yeah. But it's like one of those things where like um he's a bigger guy, and I feel like we really need a bigger deep threat for Josh Allen. So I feel like he's basically how I look at it. I know this might be a little weird, but I feel like he's a cheaper version of Tyler Boyd, and Tyler Boyd or Kendrick Bourne's a guy I would want as a wide receiver in free agency. So
I'd kind of say he's more like George Pickens because I feel like what do you call Keon Coleman has a pretty decently large frame, and he's like I don't know,
that's why I
he's
kind
kind
of
of free.
compared him to Tyler and Kendrick because like size, like Mike, like a Mike Williams kind of guy almost too.
Yeah, kind of a mix of Mike
Yeah,
Williams and George
like Mike
Pickens.
Williams is another guy that some people express wanting interest, but obviously, we don't know the state of him completely, but again, just another bigger dude. That's why I like Keon Coleman a little more. But if he's not there, no hard feelings. There's another couple guys available at that pick, but just would be really nice. But
I think I'm just thinking about this right now. Sorry to cut you off. What if the Chargers trade us Justin Herbert? We give them 6, we give them next year's first, and I don't know, somebody else. That would be pretty funny. They take whoever they want at 5, and then they take JJ McCarthy at 6. Harbaugh probably
they
loves
just
McCarthy.
signed. They just signed a big contract, and I feel like he would want to keep Herbert, but we'll
No,
see.
yeah, obviously.
It would be that would actually break stories. Holy shit, that would actually be insane. You would have
I'd
a
go
big
crazy.
contract to take on, but that would go crazy. Yeah. Also, in other news, Jalen Johnson. I know Mal isn't here, but Jalen Johnson, after getting tagged on Tuesday, he got extended for 4 years, 96 million.
I thought it was
Um,
76.
oh, 76. Wait, why did I say 96? I'm a little bit okay, my bad. Yeah, I think that's a good deal. I mean,
No,
like,
yeah.
I mean, he's a top 10 corner. Everyone was
Second team All
complimenting
Pro.
him. The Bears universally get love for once. So that's really nice. But yeah, if anything, that might even be a little bit of a steal because he might be like a top 4 or 5 corner and you're getting paid like 7th highest. Like,
Yeah,
good
you're
deal
getting
by
like
the
a second
Bears.
team All Pro player for I don't know how much. It's 19 million per year. I don't know how what ranking that is between corners, but that's a great contract, and he's only 25. Great move by the Bears. Props to them.
Yeah,
Props to
no,
the
I totally. I mean, like Mal was very excited, and all Bears fans should be very excited. He's doing he's cooking there. Hopefully, he can continue to. But anyway, Texans and Dalton Schultz, they also agreed on a 3-year, $36 million contract.
fair and
Schultz
deserved.
and a what?
I think it's fair and it was deserved.
Oh no, it was deserved, but like it's definitely interesting because everyone, brings up the Cowboys offer. He had like a 3-4 year offer that was potentially around this amount. He obviously rejected it, went to Houston on a 1 year. More of as a prove it deal, I feel like, for other teams, but it worked out better for both parties than they could have imagined. So in a very exciting offense coming off of last year, like he could be a cornerstone piece, and I'm very happy for him. He bet on himself, and it worked.
Yeah, no, good move by the
Now,
Texans.
now if they can just get Saquon Barkley, that is going to be a fucking team to watch. I know we just talked about the Eagles, but I hope he goes to the Texans if
I
the
hope he
Giants
goes to
don't
the
get him back.
I hope he goes to the Giants, and if he doesn't go, then go to Houston. If you go to Philadelphia, I'm burning your jersey, and I will boo you whenever the Giants play the Eagles.
He's just gonna go to
I'm being,
MetLife and boo him. I really,
I'm being.
I really want him to go to Houston. That would be such an exciting offense, and it would help take the. I mean, obviously, I don't think Stroud has any pressure, but it would just split up their offensive game a little bit because Singletary's good, but if you can
He's a
get
free agent.
Saquon on a CMC like arc, oh baby, you're loaded.
Why do I never get joy with this team? So miserable rooting for this team. We ruin everybody. Everybody wants to
Yeah.
leave. Everybody's going to retire. It's
Yeah.
over.
I guess some other things are so Russell Wilson obviously got informed he'd be released. That was one of the earlier news, and it's kind of funny because the whole Russell Wilson being benched for Jared Stidham was our first episode. So
Yeah.
I'll touch on that a bit. Mal loves Justin Fields, just to give some perspective. Russell Wilson was kind of like my Justin Fields for many years. He got me into football on the Seahawks. He was one of my favorite players. He was one of the reasons I actually fell in love with football. So it's pretty crazy to see how this whole ride has went out.
Yeah.
I fully mean pun intended there to the maximum extent. But
Broncos country, let's ride.
Broncos country, the end of the ride.
Broncos country,
The
let's
ride
ride.
of terror never ended, but now it did. I hope he
Ride
just
all the
does
way to
well
last
somewhere
place.
else. I'm really hoping. I don't think he'll be the same guy as Seattle because he relies a lot on scrambling. And obviously, I think the Broncos kind of didn't really tailor to that, and he sometimes couldn't see people. But I'm hoping if his scrambling ability is still all right, he'll be a good quarterback somewhere. So, and he said he's willing to take the league minimum because he's still getting paid over 38 million by Denver
I
this
didn't know
coming
he
year.
said he was willing to take the league minimum.
And
Wow.
next year, yeah, he actually said, like, I think in a podcast, like he's willing to take the like a very cheap deal to come play for someone.
Come to New York,
So yeah, no,
outplay
I would be
Daniel
down with him
Jones.
in New York. I'd be down with him in New York, and like offensive line being potentially bad, no problem. He had to deal with that in Seattle for years. So
And you have a cornerstone left tackle, so you don't have to worry about getting absolutely hammered from behind.
yeah, that's
By
something
it.
he had to worry about in Seattle. And then the second he leaves, it's like the Seattle Seahawks select Charles Cross tackle. And I'm like, wow, this team drafts a lineman. Finally. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I just wish him the best wherever he goes. I could see him going to the Steelers, the Raiders, or the Giants, Atlanta. I feel like Atlanta is going to go with Fields and trade for him, but it is what it is. I just wish him the best, man. And the memories when he retires are gonna be good. He gave me a lot of great times in Seattle, and I just wish our pass defense didn't waste your prime. But
Yeah.
anyway, I guess some other news: Michael Pittman got tagged. The Jags Josh Allen player got franchise tagged. L'Jarius Sneed got franchise tagged. Tyron Math.
Allegedly. Oh, sorry, I cut
Allegedly?
you off. But
Allegedly?
allegedly, huh?
Allegedly? What do you
There's
mean?
there's a chance that a second because the Chiefs may look to trade Sneed.
Oh,
Allegedly
yeah,
he
you talked about that, like tag and trade to the Falcons.
tag and trade for like a second round pick, I think is insane.
I think that's still good. He's a good corner. I think
No,
it's
no,
worth
no.
it.
I think it is. I think that's lowballing his value.
Yeah,
Like
that
only
would be crazy. Dude,
if
if
the Giants
Atlanta,
could give
we
up
talked
pick
about that
38
last
for
time, Atlanta
L'Jarius
would be
Sneed, I would.
nasty.
If we could give up pick 38 for L'Jarius Sneed, I would do it.
I mean, dude, him, Banks, and
Him and Banks, and then
if
if
you
you bring
guys could
back
get McKinney back, like, bro, that's an
and
insane. You're
Pinnock too.
Bobby Okereke.
Pinnock is very underrated. I know I say this obviously because I'm a biased Giants fan, but like I'd say honestly, I'm not that biased.
When
Maybe
you're
a
a
little.
worser team, you're not going to get your guys recognized as much. So I think it's
Yeah,
fine.
Pinnock had a good year. His best moment was definitely the pick six in Miami. It was our only touchdown for like a while, but
Yeah.
he had an
Also,
interception versus the Packers, which was pretty cool. And just
yeah.
overall, good year. I give
Antoine
Pinnock.
Winfield also got franchise tagged. I expected this, but he's getting like 18 million at least. So he's living the life. And also, they're in general looking to run it back this year and be good. I think when they re-signed Evans, they probably gave him some insider on what their QB plans were. So I think they're going to try to bring Baker back.
All right, guys. So actually, some more news came out in the last 48 hours. The Buccaneers this literally just broke in. The Buccaneers extended Baker Mayfield to a 3-year deal worth up to $100 million with $50 million guaranteed. I honestly think that's pretty good value for a guy like him. So I think that is a big W for the Buccaneers. And I figured this was coming because the Bucs already extended Mike Evans, and I think if they didn't have a plan at quarterback, he wouldn't have extended there as well. So overall, the Buccaneers are trying to run it back. They got 2 of their 3 main pieces re-signed, the third one being Antoine Winfield, which they franchise tagged. So that's very exciting.
And yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's see. Justin Madubuike also got tagged. He was a free agent guy I was hoping would maybe reach free agency, and Seattle could potentially try to pick him up because he's a great interior defensive lineman. But if we lost out on him, oh well. If we get Leonard Williams, I'll be happy. So, oh well. Or get Jerzon Newton in the draft. Let's see. Zach Ertz signed a 1-year, $5 million deal with the Commanders. That, along with the Tyrann Mathieu deal, he signed a 2-year, $13 million deal. Those were the two
Jeez,
signings
Tyrann
that
Mathieu.
happened today.
He is
Tyrann
falling off a
Mathieu,
cliff.
yeah, I know. Tyrann, he's disappeared ever since he talked shit to Tom Brady in Super Bowl 55. Like, it's so funny. And, like, in Madden, he went from X Factor to, like, star dev,
But
which
yeah, I
shows
remember
his
when
fall off, in my
he
opinion, because
was
I don't
so
pay
good
attention to
from
him.
like
Yeah.
he was so good for such a long time. I
How
think
did the
after
Saints get that money to extend him? I don't know. They probably robbed the bank in New Orleans to get that money because I don't know how they did that. It
probably
made me a
so.
little salty because I'm like, I just watched the Bills give up their defense to try to fix their cap scenario, and then you guys just sign someone extension. Like, bro, why? But yeah, there's that. Jason Kelsey also announced retirement. I watched his full press conference and it was really cool to hear his story about how he used to be a linebacker. And I know you hate the Eagles, but his
No,
Super
he's
Bowl
the only Eagles
speech in the
player I
parade
actually
was
respect.
badass. Like he was actually his hungry dog speech was great. He's a legend, and I wish him the best. Yeah, I wish he won another ring, but he's a very cool and funny guy. So I wish him the best. That was a big emotional moment for everyone for Tuesday as well. Tuesday was just insane. We had the franchise tags and him.
Yeah. No, it was a crazy day.
Any thoughts on Jason? You like him? Obviously, I feel like
I
he's
like
one of your
him.
main guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. He's the only player on the Eagles I actually respect. A lot of them I hate. That team has caused nothing but pain and suffering to me. But I think he's a pretty cool dude. I like his podcast. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, he's cool. I like him. Great career, great player, good person, great person.
The Ravens signed Justin Madubuike to a 4-year, $96 million extension, I think. And I think it's a good deal. He definitely is very valuable to the team. And compared to guys like Patrick Queen and Geno Stone, I don't think you want to let this guy walk. So pretty good for them. He's an all-pro like defensive tackle / end. And then also the Eagles this morning signed Brandon Graham, he's one of, I think, the veterans from the Super Bowl 52 team. I thought he'd retire or go chase a ring somewhere else, but he signed another 1-year deal with them. So at this point, I'm surprised he didn't retire, but good on him. I respect his loyalty to Philly. And then lastly, the Broncos traded wide receiver Jerry Jeudy to the Browns for 5th and 6th round picks of this year's draft. I think it's a good move. Jerry Jeudy was always underwhelming in Denver, and I figured he and Sutton, or potentially both of them, would be traded away inevitably. And I figured to trade Jeudy over Sutton because Sutton still made some insane plays. So I think it's the right move, and I think Jerry Jeudy will hopefully develop that Browns offense. I think it'll be really good next year with him helping out. I mean, Elijah Moore went there. He was kind of in the same situation as Jerry Jeudy was with his former team, and he had some pop-off games with Joe Flacco. So I think it's a good move for both sides. I'd rather keep Sutton, or at least one of those guys, but especially Sutton over Jeudy to help whoever your quarterback is, because, again, I think McCarthy's draft stock is going up, and I think there's a very high chance that he could go at pick number 11 or 12 to Denver or Minnesota. So whoever your new QB is, I think it will be very solid for Sutton to have as an option to help develop them. So first up, Mac Jones just got traded from the Patriots to the Jaguars to, funny enough, back up another quarterback from the 2021 draft class, same as his, in Trevor Lawrence. It's for, I think, a 6th round pick or something. So that pretty much kind of makes it certain that the Patriots are going to be aggressive and get Drake May or Jaden Daniels probably. They already have Jacoby Brissett, but I think they're going to draft a rookie and have Jacoby fill in if he needs. So that pretty much means the Giants are probably not going to get a quarterback, which is basically Bobby's reaction in a nutshell. Also, Fletcher Cox retired, so there we go. I'm not really surprised there. The Seahawks today also parted ways with Nick Bellore, and we also restructured Tyler Lockett's contract. So It's 2 years, 30 million. I think, and I think the salary went from 17 million a year to like 13 to 15, so we save some cap space. That plus Nick Ballore leaving means Seattle has almost 60 million in cap space, which is insane. I love this organization. We just went from negative 6 million to 60 million in a matter of a couple weeks, plus some of the NFL raising the salary cap. But a lot of that was stuff this organization did. So I'm very proud of them, and I'm really hoping this means we can make big moves in free agency. And then also, the Bears signed Kevin Byard. I'm going to insert Mal's reaction somewhere around here.
Boys, we just signed Kevin Byard to a 2-year, $15 million deal, $7.5 million a year. I think that's a great signing, very affordable signing. I think, it's our safety duo is set, our secondary set. We have Jalen Johnson at cornerback 1, Tyreek Stevenson, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate, should have been. Kyler Gordon, who's solid. And then we're adding Kevin Byard. He's going to make more tackles for us than like Eddie Jackson. And we're going to... Dude, this is awesome. This is awesome. Our secondary is set. We don't got to worry about the secondary. Neither the linebackers. Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Jack Sanborn. Those are our linebackers. They've been good. They played good for us last year. They did what we needed them to do. And then just for the D-line, we just got to adjust the D-line a little bit more. We have Montez Sweat. We have Jervon Dexter. We just need to get another pass rusher. Hopefully get Zadarius Smith on a little cheap deal. And then hopefully we can sign Christian Wilkins at D-tackle. Holy bro. And then our defense is set. And then all we got to do, worry about the offense. Draft Caleb. Trade Justin. I love Justin, but draft Caleb, draft Dunze at 9, and then draft Cedric Van Pran in the later rounds. Hopefully he can, be around a good part of the draft, like an affordable part of the draft, and then we can hopefully sign Curtis Samuel. Oh my God, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Roma Dunze. Bro, I almost tripped because I'm that happy. And then we have Cole Kmet. We can't forget about Cole Kmet. Bro, and if we can... Oh, my God, bro. Look, we're going to finish last in the North, okay? The Vikings are better than us with Kirk Cousins. The Packers own us, especially Jordan Love. And Jared Goff, the Lions are going to dominate. But if the Bears can still somehow get a 7th seed... Get 9 wins. Dude, just the Bears just need to show improvement. Get me 9, 10 wins. The NFC North is going to be competitive. Just get me more wins. And please don't let me down. Please make Caleb have a good rookie year. You got to surround Caleb with the talent. You have the draft capital. You have the cap space still, even after signing Jalen Johnson and Kevin Byard. Cook.
There you go, guys. There is some more news today regarding trades and signings, and we are 48 hours away from free agency, so we will update you more whenever we can. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.